Hello and welcome, beautiful souls, to my channel, Light of Shaya. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to those of you who are new. I hope you enjoyed the content, and for those of you who are returning, I simply want to say thank you so much for all of your support. I appreciate every single one of you. So, today I'm doing a message from Spirit. I'll be blending, I have pulled cards already, got the piles here. I'll insert that clip shortly, but it's going to be the Good Tarot and the Animal Spirit Oracle cards, and then I decided to use the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle cards here for some additional messages, like advice for you at the time, and I'll be pulling those live for you, if that makes sense. So they're not incorporated in the current piles. I'll be doing it for you at your individual piles. So these are basically any messages that Spirit wants to deliver to you. I'll be reading the cards more intuitively this time around, and I'm really hoping you guys enjoy this. So before we get started, I kind of want to set the mood here. So I'm going to be ringing this beautiful crystal singing bowl that's associated with the crown chakra, and I hope you stay. Of course, if you don't want to partake in this particular activity, I will have timestamps located down below for you. But I'm going to go ahead and get started to set the mood. Absolutely beautiful. Before you guys go, I do want to mention, for those of you who stayed around, I did notice that I was drawn to saying that this is a collective message because these were the cards that were at the bottom of the deck. So we have Trust the Great Mystery, Whale Spirit here, number 65. So some of you at this time are likely experiencing some sort of not illusion, but I'm getting kind of like moon energy where you're not really sure where things are going. Maybe you've been working on something or dealing with someone and you're not really sure how things are going to move forward. And this could be in several instances in your life, of course. It doesn't have to necessarily be with other people or even at a job. This could just be you, how you feel personally. And I am being drawn here to this beautiful energy of the Queen of Fire. That's Aries, Leo, Sagittarian energy for those of you dealing with those signs. Of course, these are energies you could be embodying. And the Queen of Fire is usually depicted, I'm kind of seeing like the black cat, which is associated with like magic. So some of you maybe aren't seeing the magic working, if that makes sense, because I'm seeing how she's holding this candle here. Maybe some of you are practitioners, like Wiccan or things along those lines. Any person from any religion or spiritual belief system is welcome here on my channel, because I think it's very important to embrace all people's belief systems, because our journey is our own, of course, right? Now, I do want to say that if those of you who are practicing that, and this could be through prayer as well, it doesn't necessarily have to be like actual like magical rituals or anything. You're very aligned with the spiritual sources, and so Spirit is basically telling you at this time that you are in the place that you need to be. Trust the Great Mystery, because you're actually manifesting. I'm getting very powerful feminine, a good combination of feminine and masculine energies that are helping you create what it is that you want. A lot of you are likely very creative and intuitive here. And I'm noticing her open heart here. So some of you may be tapping into the energy of love or the energy of source at this time. But anyway, with that being said, that was just a general message for the collective. I'm going to go ahead and insert that clip here, and I'll see you guys at your corresponding piles. Alrighty guys, welcome to your pile selection. So from left to right, we have pile 1 with the black obelisk, pile 2 with the, I believe it's clear quartz obelisk, and then pile 3 with the rose quartz obelisk. So feel free to take a moment here to meditate on your stacks and choose the pile that resonates most with you. Once again, this is going to be a reading with a combination of the Good Tarot and the Animal Spirit Oracle deck. So I look forward to seeing you guys at your corresponding piles. Hello and welcome, pile 1. If you chose this this black obelisk here, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and take a look-see here at what messages Spirit have for you today. So we have the 8 of Air from the Good Tarot. From the Animal Spirit Oracle cards, we have Set Healthy Boundaries. Okay, very powerful message there. We have Star. Okay, so Aquarian energy here. Some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius or may have that in your chart. We have Brown Bear Spirit, Take Time Out. We have the 9 of fire. The 7 of fire. Wow, the 7 of water. We have messenger of water. And we have you are never alone, otter spirit, number 42. Co-create with spirit, of course, with the crow spirit here. And finally, we have the king of water. Very beautiful energy here. Okay, wow. I don't know, the king of water here, interestingly enough, isn't coming through as a person, but it's coming through as spirit itself. In the beautiful blending of the masculine and feminine energies here. And I want you to see how spirit right now is telling you that they are very proud of your progress. I'm seeing this as a fatherly figure who's looking upon his children with such a sense of admiration, inspiration, and such a deep love. And of course, spirit loves all of us. But the love is pouring their love, you know, however you refer to your higher power. Sometimes I interchange between the divine, spirit, and God, because I believe that it's more expansive than we understand, of course. Like, God is, or the divine is this like diamond, right? So there's only this one diamond, and then it has different faces on the diamond. So a lot of people see the divine in different places or different ways, in different shapes and forms. But at the end of the day, spirit is the great spirit, right? It's what is in all of us. It's all of creation in itself, and it's not just the physicality of things, but the ethereal behind that. Anyway, this message is coming through very strongly, especially with otter spirit here, with you are never alone. There's just, I mean, I want you guys to look at this, because if you look at this king, note how much love he's showing towards that fish. There's this sense of beauty and wonder and awe. I'm getting the sense here, pile one, that spirit is very proud of you. There's this deep, it's making me a little bit of emotional, honestly. It's this deep appreciation for you and how far you've come. You've likely gone through a lot, pile one, and spirit, this is basically a message from spirit saying, I love you so much, and you're almost out of the dark periods of time. There's just a little bit more that you have to go through. And I'm not sensing that it is heavy in nature. It's more of the healing journey you're going on, and the healing process. So for those of you who already dealt with the dark night of the soul, right now you're in a healing process. And some of you may have gone through multiple dark night of the souls. And this is basically spirit coming through saying, you've done the work, I'm very proud of you, and now we get to work together. It's time to get excited again, is what I'm hearing. So here with the 8 of air, it's a really interesting energy. Usually the 8 of swords speaks of victim mentalities and things of that line, right? Being very stuck in your head, creating boxes, right? It's about creating boxes of who we are. And basically what ends up happening, this is something that we've learned from childhood. You know, they tell you, and I mean society, including your parents being a part of that, they tell you this is your name, this is what you should do, and this is how you should behave, right? And so a lot of these ideas that we have about ourselves have been self-enforced. And it isn't necessarily our fault in childhood, of course, but as we grow older, it's time to break free from these mentalities, right? And so I'm seeing here with the 8 of air, there's a wistfulness with this particular card here. There's a wistfulness. It's like wishing upon a star is kind of what I'm getting. Interestingly enough, the star card is here. For those of you who know this song, I'll go ahead and mention it here, but I don't know why I'm being drawn to telling you guys about this song, but it's called Wish Upon a Star by Rose Royce. I suggest you check that out. Maybe there's something in there that'll resonate with you. It is a love song traditionally, but I think maybe this is more, may resonate differently for everyone. But there's a sense of like looking down at all these things that have happened. I feel like these are your tribulations almost, and they're giving you a sense of confusion. And even this armadillo spirit gives me kind of like a sad, melancholic energy. I don't know why that is. Just looking at the eye, it's almost like a sense of sadness. But right, the armadillo is very sturdy. It's a very powerful, strong creature, right? They have this protective plating. And so this journey that you've been on, Pile 1, has helped you develop this protective plating for when you go out into the world. I'm getting the sense here that a lot of you may be in the public eye or will be at some point in your life. And so the star, this is your energy. This is beautiful star energy of you being this amazing, incredible human being, very humanitarian in nature, who genuinely is like, you're likely a light worker, a healer, a star seed, something along those lines, of course, this being the star. And you were brought here, or you chose, long ago, you chose to come here to help heal the collective, to heal your own personal wounds, of course, any karma that you had underlying, and to help heal the collective. Now, this is why I'm getting the sense of a healing journey, right? The star card speaks of rejuvenation, of new hope, and having faith again and finding that direction in life. It's kind of like a soul's mission kind of card for me, because it gives you the direction in life where you need to go. And so this is followed by the brown bear spirit, take time out. And a lot of you, I'm getting the sense here, the brown bear spirit, it has like this Native American feeling, right? Because with the feathers and the paintings, and then of course the paw here. The paw that's embedded on the chest here. A lot of you were clearing ancestral karma is what I'm getting. So a lot of you were brought here to break free from the ancestral patterns that your lineage had, right? So a lot of you may have dealt with family members who were toxic in nature. You may have been taught certain behaviors by your parents that likely weren't serving you in the long run. And so this ancestral pattern, you've broken, actually I'm getting that you've broken several patterns in this, or you will be in this lifetime. And it's freeing you into this beautiful expansive space. And I'll get into the expansion in a moment because I'm seeing expansion here. But with the brown bear spirits here, it says take time out. This is a time, once again, of healing, Pile 1. You're supposed to heal yourself. There's this sense of you having gone through a lot of challenges. And I'm getting, of course, star cards speaking of healing, but I'm also sensing this is like kind of the Four of Swords kind of card of taking the time to rejuvenate and rest. There is time for breathing, time to rest here. And this is followed here by Otter Spirit, you are never alone. So a lot of you may have been feeling very alone. If you tuned into the intro, I did speak of the collective message with Whale Spirit and the Queen of Fire. And so some of you have been feeling lost at this time, and you feel like you are alone, but in reality, you are never alone. This is Spirit looking down at you and saying like, oh my God, this is my child, like, you are so beautiful, so incredible, I am so proud of you. There's just that sense of pride coming from this card. And note that the otter also has this beautiful, it's built in the way of a heart, and it's two kindred souls I'm seeing here. Some of you may be on the divine counterpart journey, and maybe that's why I mentioned Wish Upon a Star. Note how the Nine of Fire also has this wishing upon a star kind of feel, where this figure, this person, is looking at these stars and the possibilities. There's like a sense of wonder and endearment and a sense of feeling divinely guided. It's like you found your treasure. You found it inside of yourself. It had been lying beneath the surface all along. And through your healing journey, through the tribulations that you've gone through, now it's like you're finding the light in your life again. And if you haven't stepped into this yet, you will be. This is then followed by the Seven of Fire. And this card, for me, has this like Fool-like energy to it. And I want you to notice here that in both the Nine of Fire and Seven of Fire, we have these little sprite-like beings that are surrounding you. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that, but there's these little like fairy-like or like fire sprites. Like, I can't even, they're like elemental sprites associated with fire. And there's this sense of you being surrounded by these angelic beings. There are guides in your life right now that you're not seeing. They're moving things around, and they're kind of like, I'm getting the sense here that they're encouraging you here with their flying motion here. I'm seeing this like circular thing where they're like going behind you now, because I'm seeing how there's a circular feel to that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that exactly. I apologize if you can't. But I'm seeing how they're moving around you like this way, and they're like trying to get behind you. It's like the energies are aligning, and they're trying to push you in a certain direction. However, it's not the right time yet, and that's why the energies are shifting right now. There's a sense of shifting energy because you're still healing at this time. And you're learning how to set these healthy boundaries, which is incredibly important for the next part of your journey. And with the seven of water here, so we go from the seven of fire to the seven of water, these conflicting, you know, elements, right? And there's this, I'm seeing this, right? Because I'm seeing the similarity between these two figures here. You go from this place of wonder and awe, at looking at the treasure, looking at your star, looking at the thing that you were hoping for. And it's almost like the endless possibilities begin to open up to you. Right? Remember how I was saying that the energies were aligning with this one? You note how these sprites here are kind of scattered. They're kind of like in the ethereal, they haven't come about yet. And then here, in the seven of water, it's like they're surrounding you. They've surrounded you and they're working with you. And there's a sense of inspiration and awe coming from this particular card that I'm getting. It's like you're looking up at the divine and saying, this is meant for me. You know, like there's a sense of there's an inner knowing. And I'm seeing that this particular figure is sitting upon something which appears to be kind of like a lotus unfurling. It's like your heart's opening up again. And I'm trying to, there's like a deeper message here that I'm trying to like tap into, but I think maybe I'm not meant to see it. There's something about this probably is very individual for each one of you, since it's a general reading. It's very individual for each one of you, the treasure within, right? Because I can't tap into that exactly through these general readings, but there's this general feeling of like you are finding your internal treasure and you're finding this beautiful connection with spirit all over again. And then we have the messenger of water. And so if some of you haven't been in connection with your spirit guides, there has been a reason for this. I get the sense here that you were meant to trust in your own intuition and use your free will in order to direct you in a certain direction. So if your spirit guides or your angels or whoever you were talking to didn't give you clear answers in certain moments, there was a reason behind it, because you kind of had to find your own way. And I'm seeing this is you. And it's funny because I'm getting this sense of almost like sadness or disappointment from like this seahorse, right? It's kind of like I'm bowing my head to you because I'm sorry. This was a part of the journey. It's like I wanted to be there with you, but this was all dependent upon you. And you're just looking at them like this with the sense, there's not disappointment on yours. It's more like, that's odd. Like, it's not amusement. It's like I understand, but I'm not exactly happy with it. There's this sense of, I understand where you're coming from, but I wish you could have been there for me, if that makes any sense at all. It's a very specific message there. And so you're finding your connection with the divine again. It's going to come in very small. It's going to come in very small, likely through a personal guide of yours, a spirit guide. Some of you may also receive signs, because I'm seeing this. You guys have already been receiving signs. I sense that. But see, now your spirit guide is here, right? And then now we go into the co-create with spirit card, the crow spirit, which is a messenger, right? Crows, birds are messengers. And so there's a sense of you co-creating with spirit now, because you understand your path, you understand your way, you've received the message, you understand your immensity, and this is spirit basically saying, yay, you figured it out, you did it, I'm so proud of you, let's go. It's time to get playful again. There's just a sense of absolute deep pride. And as I was saying, there was something about messages, right? And I'm seeing this 8 of air here, where it was like the messages you were receiving in the past were very scattered. They didn't make sense to you at the time. It's like you were given an incomplete jigsaw puzzle. There was like, you could see portions of the journey, or you could see portions of the messages, and it's like, this one makes sense. This one kind of makes sense along it, but these are unrelated and I don't see how they connect. And the pieces are starting to fall together, and then when you see it here with the 7 of water, you're like, oh, that's why things played out the way they did. And then there's the sense of awe and wonder. But interestingly enough, I'm noticing just how cool and calm you are when your spirit guide is like, yeah, this is kind of, I'm sorry, this is kind of how it had to happen, and you're kind of unimpressed by it because maybe you guys had very deep connections with your higher power, your spirit guides or angels and something like that, and you're kind of unimpressed by it, but you accept it for what it is at face value, and you're like, okay, well that was unfortunate because I felt alone, right? I felt alone, but they were basically saying you were never alone. This was a time for yourself. This was a time for you to figure out yourself. This was a time for you to figure out what your calling was, what your North Star was, what was your direction in life. And, pile one, it looks like you chose correctly or will be choosing correctly. And that is why Spirit is coming through here saying, like, I'm so inspired by you. This was a test and you passed it, and now nothing but beauty is coming your way. All of the things that you've wanted, pile one, you're on your way towards it, and Spirit is basically saying here, it is time. So let's go ahead and pull a card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle deck and see if there's any advice. I'll be reading out of the book for this. I can't make this up, you guys. I can't make this up. Look at what card that came out. Crow, right? Isn't that beautiful how serendipity works? So let's go ahead and read out of the book for this. Of course. Okay, so we have spiritually strong, creative, watchful. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. When in balance, psychic, strong, clear. When out of balance, ungrounded, hypersensitive. To bring into balance, daily meditation practice. So, pile one, you're being called, if you haven't started a meditation practice, and I'm guilty of this, sometimes I fall off the wagon, so to speak, of like not doing it. This is to come, right? This is part of your journey. You need to start getting more in attunement with the divine through meditation because it clears your mind. Remember how I was saying things about being scattered? Your psychic intuition or your intuition, your own personal North Star, intuitively speaking, was out of alignment. And this is why the signs were becoming scattered. And this is why you were likely praying because you were like trying to figure out, where am I supposed to go? This all seems so confusing, right? And so with the crow here, it's because things needed to align in a certain way within yourself first. You made the right decision and you're on the path now. However, the piece of advice that I'm getting here that comes through very strongly, if you do not have a daily meditation practice, it's time to start that pile one. So, with that being said, this is going to go ahead and end the reading. If you enjoyed this content, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. And as always, I am sending you so much love and so much light. Take care. Hello and welcome, Pile 2. If you chose this little clear quartz obelisk, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and take a look-see here at what the message from Spirit is. If you guys didn't finish the intro, this is just a heads up. The Queen of Fire and the Whale Spirit were part of the collective message. So some of you may be a little bit unclear as to where you're going or have been feeling that way. And you're being called to essentially trust the great mystery. And then with the Queen of Fire, this is about creation and stepping into a place of empowerment and taking action. So we have the first card out. Interestingly enough, while I was shuffling cards, this message was very powerful. I kept seeing a lion. So this is a very important message for Pile 2. So we have Lion Spirit, be generous of spirit. So that's from the Animal Spirit Oracle cards. From the Good Tarot, we have Moon, right? I was talking about the unknown. So there it is. There it is, Pile 2. Page of Air. Page of Swords. Okay. Five of Fire. Or the Five of Wands. Wow, the Hierophant. Okay. You know, it's really interesting. This card gives me more of a magician-like feel than it does give me like the traditional Hierophant card. We have Be Fearless and Bold, Badger Spirit, number 4. Canary Spirit, Sing Your Own Song. Magician. So we have Gemini. We have Gemini, Virgo, Taurus, and Pisces, Cancer with the Moon, and the Hierophant and the Magician. We have the Five of Air. Interesting. Five of Fire, Five of Air. So lots of change in this. We have Use Your Mind Wisely, Pig Spirit here. And we have the King of Fire. Wow. So this is coupled with the Queen of Fire. Very interesting. Okay. Taking a moment here just to kind of tap in because your message is a little bit, definitely very different from Pile 1. Okay, pile 2. There are incredible things coming your way, but you're not seeing them. This was all a part of claiming your personal power. Yes, there's a claiming of personal power here, reclaiming a personal power here, because when we come into this material plane, there are certain traditions, there are certain structures, there are certain ideas that have been ingrained into us through society, essentially, right? That was a particular message in pile 1, but yours is coming through very differently. Some of you may have had a very interesting religious background, and I mean not necessarily interesting, but you've likely outgrown it now that you're older, because you're starting to break free from the ideologies that were basically implanted in you, if that makes sense. I'm not sure why that message is coming out very strongly, but this is about questioning the status quo at times, right? The Hierophant is usually about organized religions and things of that along those lines, and there's a sense of you rebuilding and restructuring yourself and your ideas, right? I'm feeling there's a lot of ungrounded energy throughout this. It's like fluctuating, and you're trying to find, I guess the feeling that I'm sensing here is like this fine balance. I feel like a lot of you are very attuned to the higher realms. Your intuition is incredibly powerful. And sometimes you have a hard time moving through life looking at it from the 3D perspective. I'm getting the sense a lot of you experience life from a more fifth dimensional perspective, if that makes sense. But I get the sense that this actually empowers you a great deal, but there is a need for grounding yourself. There is a need to practice grounding. A lot of you spend your time maybe imagining or being in a very ethereal kind of thing. It's kind of like the not traditional Seven of Cups. I wouldn't even say it that, because there is confusion, there's different options, but there's more to it than that. There's like the sense of you guys likely receive various messages. Maybe you're very attuned to energies, especially when it comes to people. Maybe you can kind of like sense people or understand them on a different level. There's this, maybe some of you get kind of like sneak peeks about people, if that makes sense. I don't know why that energy is coming through here. But a lot of you have this very ethereal feel to you, and it's almost like sometimes you have a hard time being grounded because you live in this very fifth dimensional experience. So with the Be Generous of Spirit here, a lot of you are likely humanitarians, I'm getting, and this is beautiful energy for you to be in. It's about showing compassion, demonstrating compassion through being in your power, right? So a lot of times when you're not spiritually attuned, when you don't see the big picture, we become selfish with our energy, because if you're not awakened, there's a sense of like looking at life strictly as a material thing, and so then it's all about accruing resources, right? Physical resources. It's about it becomes devil energy, because we become ingrained in the material lifestyle. Now, I'm getting the sense, pile 2, that that's not your case, but for whatever reason that message had to come out. There's something about materialism here, and I can't quite pick up on why that is. Maybe you have a mission about demonstrating this to others, about how material things don't equate to a life of happiness and success. But I get the sense you're very humanitarian in nature, and I'm seeing here with the Moon card, you guys have very powerful gifts, and I'm noticing here, if you can kind of see here, she has this like wing extending from her arm, and there's like these stars just kind of like flowing out of her. So I'm getting the sense that you guys are light workers or healers of some sort, and you're very powerful. You're very attuned to the other realms, because with the Moon here, I'm getting this sense of beauty from this Moon. It's like a deep inner peace that you have, that you've accrued over time. This is also the divine stepping in for you guys. A lot of you, like I said, are very spiritually attuned, and the divine is stepping in here to try and guide you. And that's why I'm getting the sense of like moon energy, like traditional moon energy, with trust the great mystery, right? Of like maybe not really seeing the full picture, but you already know you're on the right track. It's like you're so confident. I get this sense of confidence here, of like knowing which way you're supposed to go, even though the answers aren't clear, if that makes sense. And then we have this Page of Air, as I was saying, and I want you guys to notice this really fascinating combination here, because I'm seeing how, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but you're incredibly blessed, pile 2, and I'm seeing this because I'm looking at this as a figure, a higher dimensional being, and this is you, because you're an earth angel. And do you know how interestingly enough, how those stars are being like presented to this page of air, and the page of air is graciously accepting them, like with open arms. There's a sense of like you receiving this information, or you receiving the blessings. You're just open to the possibilities. And I'm getting this in the sense this is your energy here of the page of air. And note how there are a couple feathers like floating down. It's like I already know where to go because I know I'm guided by my intuition, but I'm getting these signs anyways just to let me know, and I'm graciously accepting them because it just gives me this sense of confirmation that I'm on the right track. Now, we have then the five of fire here. And this card is quite interesting because I'm seeing how there's these flowers blooming, and this person here, there's like a blooming on the crown chakra. And like I said, I'm getting a highly spiritual feeling from you, pile 2. It's this deep inner knowing that you have, as I was saying. There's just this deep inner knowing. You don't even have to look up. This card is looking directly at the viewer, right? The person looking at the card. And it's like, and I'm getting that sense of like you can see through people, if that makes sense. Like you can see through people, but you're very calm about it. There's no like freaking out about it or anything like that. And this is your energy of like, this is giving me the sense of the magician. Very attuned to the higher realms, very attuned to your intuition, very attuned to spirit. And this has been a gift to you. And I'm getting in the sense that some of you are healers and guides that are supposed to lead others, because with the Hierophant card here, this is usually a leader as well. Somebody who divulges spiritual information to others, right? And so some of you haven't stepped into this particular energy. So as I said, you guys are very confident, but there's this sense of needing to be even more confident. As crazy as that sounds, right? So you're like, what? If you're very confident already, then why would I need to step into more confidence? This is about being more confident in your spiritual gifts that you've been given. This is about you being more confident in being a leader. This is about you not being afraid of what other people think about you or say about you, because we have the badger spirit here, be fearless and bold, and then we have the canary spirit, sing your own song. So as I said, some of you are healers. I'm noticing how there's a musical staff here with the canary, and so a lot of you are likely, maybe you're very attuned to music or may play music or something along those lines, but with the be fearless and bold, see, there's that inner knowing again that I'm sensing, like from this, you see how this badger is just looking directly at you? A lot of people have a fear of like making eye contact with people, right? And I get the sense that you're so empowered that you don't necessarily see it that way. It's more like I can peer through, there's like this piercing of like your eyes to other people, interestingly enough. And I'm sensing that here with the magician as well. I'm not sure if you could see, it's just like this very magical energy. It comes as like illusions sometimes, but in this case, I'm seeing it's like you see through people. You know, like I see directly into people. It's a very interesting energy, but you're being called to continue to be fearless and bold if you already are, and if you're not, this is a time for you to step into your authenticity, pile 2. Spirit is saying this is very important for your mission, to be fearless and bold, to be strong, to be unafraid, to know that you're divinely guided, to know that you're blessed, to know that you're here for a reason, that you have a very, very important mission. And you're being blessed, as I said, with the moon card of these like this healing energy that is being directed to you by a higher force, a higher power. And you're already embracing this, I'm sensing, but there's a need for you to step into a more confident space. Right? With the magician, being able to create your own reality, you know? There is a sense of, now I will say I'm picking up another message, I'll get into that shortly, but there is a need for, like I said, empowerment and creating and co-creating with spirit, because you need to understand just how powerful you are. However, I'm being guided to tell you here with the 5 of air, typically I wouldn't read it this way, but with the 5 of air here, there's somebody in your vicinity here. I'm getting the sense that there may be somebody in your vicinity that may not have the highest intentions for you. Now, you're very spiritually attuned, so I'm getting the sense here that you may already know about this, but you're not entirely confident about it. Maybe you guys already have an intuitive knowing about this person or this situation that you might be in, but it's almost like you may not want to see it for what it is. And so this person has this very... I'm kind of going on here, but note how this particular figure has a mask on their face, right? And usually masks are a form of deception, right? Wearing a mask is like hiding. There's a sense of hiding, and I'm noticing here how this particular figure has this this string, and it's like a ballerina on a string, right? This person is very good at whatever it is that they do. And I'm almost getting the sense of playing puppet master. That's really bizarre. It's a really bizarre message that I'm receiving about this. And so now, here we have the card that says, use your mind wisely. And so it's about stepping into that place of inner knowing, right? Don't allow your thoughts to create this. Now, I'm getting two messages here. I'm getting two messages. The second one is coming out very strongly, right? The first one that I told you about is be mindful of the people around you. But remember that our minds and our emotions create our reality. And so if you're expecting this from a genuine person, let's say your intuition has told you that this person is fine, but then you get into your head about it, and then you're like, well, I don't know what this person's intentions are towards me, and you're like stuck in your head about it. And maybe you might see this person as a puppet master. You might see them as trying to make them, play them as a fool, right? Or play you as a fool. Well, it's interesting that I said play them as a fool. Be mindful, pile 2. This is a very interesting message that I'm having a very hard time picking up on, because since you're so powerful and you have these amazing abilities, you can also use them in a very manipulative way, and you may not even be aware that you're capable of doing this at times. So be very mindful. Lead with your heart, pile 2. I'm being guided to tell you to lead with your heart, because the 5 of air here with this false self mask, maybe some of you are the 5 of air here. Maybe you're very good at what it is that you do, and you need to be mindful of other people's space. You need to be mindful of other people's feelings, their thoughts, and be mindful of the things that you do, because sometimes we can do these things to suit our own needs, right? Remember, be generous of spirit. Be generous of spirit means, come from a place of kind-heartedness, of generosity, of compassion. So be very mindful about what it is that you do, pile 2. I don't know why I'm being guided to say this, because generally speaking, I pick up on other people doing this towards others. And I mean, that's, if you already have an intuitive knowing that somebody is doing this, you'll already know that. But for those of you this last message is resonating with, it's just a call to action to be mindful, right? Because with the Hierophant here, as I said, you're powerful leaders, and some of you can use these abilities that you have, these intuitive powers that you have, to misguide people, to make them suit your needs. So be very mindful, pile 2. Use your mind wisely. And this ties into this King of Fire energy, this Aries, Leo, Sagittarian energy here. Lead with your heart, right? You can see that the King of Fire here has an open heart. It's just like emanating pure warmth and love and kindness and beauty. And so this is the energy that you're supposed to be embodying. Very wise. As I said, you're likely a very spiritual pile. Be very wise, be very patient, and lead with your heart, pile 2, because this is going to be very important for you. I wanted to say in the months to come. So let's go ahead and pull from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle cards here to see what your advice is or any additional messages that Spirit wants to give you here today, okay? Beautiful. So we got the busy, busy bee here. Let's read out of the book. Bee. Earnest, hardworking, democratic. The bee personality is a delight to be around, especially when there's a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the final task is complete. They are sensitive creatures, aware of many subtleties at once. Since they're artists at heart, they usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have bustling, joyous personalities until they're too tired from all the work. Then they gripe, and then sting. When in balance, content, active, vibrant. When out of balance, overworked, annoyed, and to bring into balance, mini vacation. So the advice that you guys are receiving here is that, once again, I'm getting the sense of like artists here, because it does mention that here. Some of you are very creative. And with the King of Fire, it is a very, very creative energy, a visionary. The King of Fire is a visionary, and I'm getting a lot of visionary energy here. But with the Bee Spirit here, it's advising you to be mindful about griping. If you're overworking yourself, take a mini vacation, make sure to nurture and care for yourself, pile 2. That is incredibly important, especially since you have such a creative and very like this beautiful energy around you. It needs to be guided and protected by yourself, right? Nobody can do that for you. Nobody can take care of you for you, right? So take care of yourself, pile 2, however that may play out to you. Maybe it's time for a vacation, you know, even if it's a couple days of doing absolutely nothing, do the stuff you love, right? Re-energize yourself. Yeah, some of you may just be overworked or annoyed because of all the projects that you have going on or whatever it is that you're working on. So pile 2, that's going to end the message here for you. If you enjoyed this content, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. And as always, I'm sending you so much love and so much light. Take care. Hello and welcome, pile 3. If you chose this rose quartz obelisk here, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and get into the message. What message does Spirit have for you today? Okay, so we have the King of Air. This is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Could be dealing with that sign or have that in your chart. This could also be the energy that somebody is embodying. We have from the Animal Spirit Oracle cards, we have the Abundant Universe Will Provide, number 10. We have Patience, number 14. This is the Temperance card, so this is Sagittarian energy. We have King of Earth. Wow. Very powerful. King of Earth, King of Air. Rabbit Spirit, now is a lucky time. This gives me the Wheel of Fortune kind of feel, so this is more Sagittarian energy. This is also associated with the sign of Pisces. We have the 10 of Earth. Wow. We have White Raven Spirit, Trust in the Magic, number 66. Interesting. We have the 3 of Air. Oh, goodness. Cat Spirit, Claim Your Independence. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have the 6 of Fire. And finally, we have, wow, the Emperor. This is Aries energy here. Okay. Whew. Wow, that really added an oomph to the end of this message here. So I'm just kind of taking a moment to soak this all in here. Okay. So there's a few different messages here that are beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful, pile 3. In particular, I'm noticing the Buffalo Spirit, the Abundant Universe Will Provide, and the 10 of Earth. So there is something, materially speaking, that is going to be very, very financially successful for you in time. I'm not sure what the timing on this is, because I am seeing divine timing is at work here, especially since I mentioned the Wheel of Fortune. Now, if you didn't tune into the beginning, the intro at the very close to the end, I was talking about these two energies here, the Whale Spirit and the Queen of Fire. And so there's this sense of like trusting the great mystery and taking action despite not knowing what the full picture is, right? So with the King of Air here, I'm getting the sense this is your energy and I'm getting a very interesting energy from him. There's almost like the sense of dissatisfaction coming from him. And I'm noticing how it appears to be like there's scars on his eyes. Now, almost like he's wearing glasses too. I'm not sure if you could see that. But there's like scars on his left eye. Or excuse me, his right eye. Very interesting. Huh. And there's this sense of you, I don't know why I'm getting the sense of questioning, pile 3. Questioning from this card. It's very logical energy that I'm getting here. This card I don't normally, I wouldn't normally read the King of Swords in that way, because King of Swords is very, well, of course, very logical, very detached, not attuned. Well, he is attuned with his emotions, but he doesn't take them into consideration. He's like, I don't need those to make right decisions. But there is a need to trust in the universe here, right? Trust the great mystery. With the abundant universe will provide. So a lot of you may be questioning, where are my blessings? Where are the things that I was in a sense promised by you? It's almost like you're asking Spirit that directly. And with the Patience card or Temperance here, I can't help but notice, well, for one, she seems a little bit melancholy here. And usually this card speaks of like alchemization and like blending passion and like your emotions and coming into a grounded place. It's like a perfect balance of spirituality and practicality and finding your way in life, finding meaning again. And so I'm noticing here, though, I'm very drawn to the fact that there is a clock in her heart. So this gives me the sense of divine timing. Maybe some of you have been waiting for this, and you're asking the universe or God or spirit, however you refer to your higher power, where is this thing that I believed was to be mine? And of course, there is a need to just trust in the great mystery, right? So a lot of you aren't seeing that what it is that you want is already on its way. It's actually on its way, and I'm seeing that here with the Six of Fire. Know how it's a ship riding in on a balloon. So I'm getting it's quite funny because usually this wouldn't make sense, right? Usually there's a hot air balloon or a ship, but it's a combination of both a ship and the hot air balloon, and it's this funny sense that I'm getting here of like. And I'm noticing the little blimps, or not the blimps, the hot air balloons around the first one here. Some of you have been seeing signs of this, but you haven't actually had it arrive because it's on its way, right? The Six of Fire with the ship here, it's like on its way. But hot air balloons, whenever I've seen them out, aren't very fast moving. It's like you have to kind of go with the wind and all that good stuff, and you know there's sails on this particular ship blowing it in a very specific direction. But there's this sense of like waiting. I get this heavy waiting energy here. Now, this Patience card is followed by the King of Earth. Now, this is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. This person seems a little bit confused and perplexed as well, interestingly enough. Note how his brow is furrowed there. It's like, what is this? It's like a sense of confusion. There's like confusion here. What is going on? Now, I'm guided to say here that for some of you, especially if you're dealing with the Divine Masculine and you're the Divine Feminine, maybe they're the King of Air and you're the King of Earth energy right now, or vice versa. This King of Earth is obviously, in a sense, similar to the King of Air, obviously, since they're king. For some of you, this may be a same-sex couple as well. Doesn't mean that they're both men. You could both be women, or it could be just your energies that you're embodying, more masculine in nature. With the King of Earth here, though, there is a sense of surety, and interestingly enough, there is a great deal of confidence coming from the King of Air and the King of Earth, but there's also this like confusion. There's like, I'm getting the sense of like confusion of like, what is going on right now? What is going on? Now, I'm noticing here, of course, this is followed by Rabbit Spirit. Now is a lucky time, right? And so there's a sense of luck on your side. Luck is on your side, Pile 3. If you've been wondering that, it is on your side. The things that you need are coming. The things that you need are coming, whether that be financial stability or a love connection. If you feel, now of course we're sure in and of ourselves, but who doesn't feel the need to have a partner, right? It's okay for you to have that desire inside of you of wanting to have a partner in your life. But there are good things coming, Pile 3, but unfortunately divine timing is at play here. I know most people don't like to hear this, but that is the case. We have the Ten of Earth here. And it's really interesting because this particular card also gives me a sense of dissatisfaction. It's like, I mean, look, she has a giant chest of gold that's overflowing with things. And it's almost like this, look at there's almost like a scowl on her face of like, this isn't good enough. So this may be a call to practice a little bit more mindfulness. Maybe the place that you're in, because the Ten of Pentacles sometimes does speak of my comfort zone, or like, because we become comfortable in the place that we've created, right? Whether it's our home, if it's with, you know, roommates, family members, or by ourselves, we become complacent with the energy that we're in. So maybe you guys may need to mix things up a little bit, spice your room up a little bit. I don't know, do something with your physical surroundings to add a little more excitement to your life, if that even makes sense. To basically get things moving, you know, maybe clean your room a little bit, tidy things up, maybe reorganize things. I don't know why that message is coming through, but it is. But there is a sense of dissatisfaction, and if you have been very dissatisfied and your needs are met, the spirit is basically saying, like, I understand where you are coming from. I completely understand that you're looking for that spice, that zest of life again. But the thing is that you need to practice more mindfulness, more gratitude mindset, understanding that what you have is something that some other people cannot, due to their circumstances and, of course, whatever their soul desired to learn in this lifetime. So you are very blessed, pile 3. And if you have been waiting for something, you need to trust in the magic. You've been co-creating with Spirit here. Spirit has been working with you very diligently. There are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that you do not see. And it's important for you to understand that there's a reason why things are playing out the way they are right now. But you need to trust in the process. For some of you, as I said, the reason I was getting love connection here is this 3 of air. And the 3 of air, interestingly enough, traditionally speaking, does speak of heartbreak, right? And interestingly enough, this deck I tend to read intuitively, but this card clearly for me defines a sense of sadness, right? Closing off of the heart space. I mean, you could tell by her body language, she doesn't seem very happy. So some of you may have experienced some sort of heartbreak. And I want to note here how she's covering herself up, almost like, you know, like holding herself, trying to caress herself and like nurture herself. And note here that in this figure, or in this card, this figure also seems to be kind of like holding her heart and like looking down and like feeling this sense of sadness. So if you have sadness in your life right now, you're being called to process it and understand that it is a process for you to go through. Do not try to rush the healing process. You know, be grounded and mindful. Don't allow your thoughts to overcome your emotions. So some of you may have even tried to block these emotions out with the King of Air here, because I do notice that in this particular, I was drawn to the mask that he's wearing, and there's this like these scars beneath the glasses, and it's about looking at the scars, you know, looking at the scars and understanding that this pain is to be experienced, but it's not meant to be wallowed in. If you feel pain, a sense of sadness or grief, feel the feelings and become aware of them. And once you do, you'll know how you feel. And then eventually you'll feel that it starts to dissipate. If you don't like put your mind into the works here and you start like creating more pain for yourself by saying like, oh, woe is me, essentially, right? That isn't to say that I am invalidating. I don't want to make that sound like I'm invalidating your pain, because I understand, you know, we all go through difficulties in life. But it's important for us to process the pain by experiencing it and allowing it to play out through our heart, right? And then going about our day after that. Don't wallow in it. Now, I'm noticing here this cat spirit comes out, and it's looking directly at the 3 of air here. And it says, claim your independence, right? Through this pain or this sorrow that you're experiencing or have experienced or will experience, of course, these are general readings, this will step you into a place or get you into alignment to a place of complete and total empowerment. If you're dealing with I don't know why I'm getting this, but if you're dealing with a counterpart, they're going through the same process, for whoever that resonates with. They're going through the same process of reclaiming their independence, reclaiming their power, their personal power. And as I said with the 6 of fire, it's on its way. Victory is right around the corner. There's going to be a sense of you feeling victorious after all of this. There's definitely this sense of feeling like, I got what it was that I deserved, essentially, in a good way. You know, I finally it's here. There's a sense of like finality, of like, I can breathe again. There's a sense of like breathing again at the end of this journey. And with the Emperor card here, I mean, look at how, you know, it's interesting, because I was telling this to, I believe, pile 2, that I kept seeing a lion in my face, or in my mind's eye, sorry. In my mind's eye, I kept seeing this lion, and interestingly enough, the Emperor in this card does come up as a lion. So this is about stepping into your power and empowering yourself, reclaiming your independence here, right? Reclaiming your independence and understanding that this is all a part of the journey in order to get you into alignment to your highest good, in order for you to play out the life of your dreams. Because if you're not confident in yourself, and if your divine counterpart isn't confident in themselves, this will cause a clashing in the relationship, because then you start looking for flaws within one another, or planting false red flags because you're not sure about trusting your intuition, right? I'm getting that message had to come out for those that's resonating with. On the other hand, for those of you who aren't on that journey, this is something possibly relating to a relationship, you know, in dealings with your family or friends or something along those lines, or maybe something happened, maybe a pet passed away or something along those lines, and you're fearing or really just dealing with this loss, right? And this loss is actually helping you lead you into a place of absolute and total control in your life. not in a like controlling way, but in a way that you're more empowered essentially. So let's go ahead and pull some advice here from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle cards. Wow, look at that, guys. You know, it's really interesting because pile 1 had the same thing happen to them. They got the Crow Spirit, and in the Animal Spirit Oracle cards, and in the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit. And look at that. Talk about serendipity, right? The buffalo is coming through again, about trusting in the universe. The abundant universe will provide. So I'm going to go ahead and read out of the book for this, okay? So it says here, grounded yet heavenly, practical yet spiritual. The hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rises toward heaven. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead, trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time, and may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. When in balance, trusting, pure presence. When out of balance, restless, lacks gratitude. To bring into balance, prayer, bhakti. I'm not really sure what bhakti is, but isn't that interesting how I was talking about, like, look at how much you have here, and there was a sense of gratitude mindset? Isn't that crazy how the divine works? Serendipity is just fascinating to me, because this is exactly what this card is talking about, and that's exactly the message that I was getting. Some of you have made yourself, how would I explain this? Some of you have gotten so wrapped up in the pain process that you've forgotten just how blessed you are. And there is a need for a gratitude mindset during this time, because that is what really truly helps us expand. When we focus on the pain, we only create more of it, because that's what happens. Our mind starts to play out these scenarios of like creating the same pain over and over and over again. And it is our responsibility to reclaim our power throughout these things, right? The strongest thing inside of you is yourself. It's your resolve. Your resolve is going to help pull you through any obstacle in life. There is nothing that can stop you, Pile 3, and you're going to be stepping into this beautiful Emperor energy of taking control of your life again, and feeling that sense of empowerment, and knowing, there's just this deep knowing that no matter what comes into your life, you're going to be able to meet it head on and know that everything is going to be okay. So Pile 3, that's going to wrap up the reading here for you. I hope this resonated with you. If it did, feel free to leave a comment down below. It's greatly appreciated. I'd love to hear your guys' stories. And of course, if you enjoyed the reading, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. And as always, I am sending you so much love and so much light. Take care.